see that? They're still there.
Well folks, thank you very much for clicking on the video. I'm back here in the woods. It's quite a windy day today, and I've come back here to build another shelter. I'm a really big fan of building shelters with natural materials. A lot of you will remember the moss roof shelter that I built, or even the dugout shelter. And there was also the stealth shelter that I built a few weeks ago between two fallen trees. And this shelter that I'm building today, well, it's kind of halfway between a dugout shelter and an underground shelter. What I've done is I found a place in the woods where there's a natural divot or a natural hole in the ground, and I've just widened that hole by using one of my folding shovels. It's taken me a few hours to dig out, and I think the clay could be really useful for a project later on. And then once I have this roof in place, I would like to then cover it either in moss or leaves, or, well, whatever I do, I'm going to put leaves down on the roof because I just want a nice thick layer. It's all about building up those layers so that if it does rain, then rather than the rain penetrate through the roof and drip into the shelter, then it can hit the roof and sort of just run off, just like roof tiles. So the more layers, the more individual leaves, being the more tiles, the more chance there is of the rain running off rather than into the shelter. I do plan on coming back here one day to do an overnighter, or maybe a 2 or 3 day overnighter. And once it's done, my plan is to create a small fire and boil some water so I can have a cup of tea. And to light the fire, to boil the water, I'm going to be using this. This is a fungus. It grows on ash trees, on dead ash trees. Now, using this fungus and my knife, I'm going to be able to get a fire going in no time. But to see how I do it, stay tuned until the end of the video. Wow. Oh, this is really comfortable, really cozy. So I've got a layer on the roof. I can't see any gaps in the roof between the sticks. I still think I need to put some more layers on. I'll probably double or triple that amount of leaves that I've placed on the roof already. But I do wonder whether I should put on some moss on the very top layer. Yeah, I do wonder. So please let me know in the comments. Just type moss or leaves in the comments, depending on what you'd like to see me do to the roof of the shelter. Well, it's nice and comfortable. I think for now, I will probably get a little fire going right here. And look how camouflaged this roof is. The roof just blends into the background, blends into the forest floor. I'm just trying to gather a bit of firewood, some of these really dead, dry sticks. And I always look for dry, dead wood that's still standing. The last thing I'll do is go and pick up a bit of wood off the floor in order to create a fire. So these bits that are just air dried are perfect. And can you remember the mushroom that I mentioned earlier? Well, I totally forgot, but when I was building this morning, I put a piece of wood down which had one of these growing on it. So again, this is called a King Alfred's cake. It's a fungus and it grows on dead or struggling, mainly ash trees. And it's really good stuff. When you break them open, when you break them in half, you'll see these rings, these silvery grey rings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knife and I use a fire steel, and I'm going to strike my fire steel and land a few sparks onto the inside of this fungus. And then hopefully we'll get it smouldering and turn it into a big flame. So in order to get this smouldering, I'll be using my fire steel. But what I want to talk about now is how important it is to prepare all your materials when it comes to fire lighting. So once I have this smouldering, I'll place it into a tinder nest or a tinder bundle, and that is this. This is dried bracken. This is dead bracken from last year. So I'll drop it into there, blow it into a flame. Then I'll be placing my sticks on top. What I don't want to do, obviously, is place big wet logs on top because they're never going to catch. So it's about starting thin as you can. So I always talk about how important it is to try and separate and grade all your firewood so that when you have your little tinder bundle that's about to burn out, before it burns out, you put on your small twigs such as this, a big bundle of small twigs, and then on top of the small twigs I'll be placing these larger sticks. I don't want a very big fire, I just want enough to boil about half a litre of water. Just to help get this fire going, I'm going to increase the surface area of the mushroom. So I'll place it down like that. And now I'll take my knife. I'll also take my fire steel, which is built into my sheath. And then it's simply a matter of just striking it like this and landing the sparks onto the tinder fungus. Ooh. So we've got a smouldering ember. That is not going to burn out too quickly, so I'll leave that there. I've got about, well, I have a few minutes before that burns out. But in the meantime, I'll just place my knife away. Safety first, get rid of that. And now we've still got a smouldering ember. So what I'll do now is I'll place it into the tinder bundle. I'll just fold the tinder bundle in half and I'll place it into that middle crease. You can see how hot that is, smouldering away. We'll place that in there, and because we had the other one going as well, I'll just drop that into there as well. And then I'm just going to blow it into a flame. And I think we've got it. So now it's going, I'm going to place it down and just help it out by blowing it a little more. Oh, sorry about that. see that? 2 deer just ran through the camp.
They're still there.
Well, that was pretty exciting. Had 2 deer. They're about 3 meters away maximum. And it just shows how stealth this shelter is. They had no idea I was here. So I was sitting in the shelter and the 2 deer ran to that stick right there. And if you look, you know what? That there is the shelter. It just shows how well it blends in to the forest floor. Which is why they had no idea I was there. Yeah, wow, that was really cool. Why do you always get a leaf in your tea when you're in the woods? So I've been thinking about those deer and I'm not sure what species, well, I'm not sure what type of deer they are, but I have a feeling they're roe deer. If you have any idea, get it? Any idea? If you have any idea of what type of deer or species they were, then comment below, let me know. But I have a feeling they were roe deer. So now that the shelter's built, I think I might come back here in a few days' time. I'll bring some food with me, I'll bring my dog, maybe a few beers. I want to come back here, spend maybe a day or 2 right here and add a few more layers to the roof just to give it a bit more thickness to the roof. I've kind of run out of time today, but this shows you again what you can accomplish within a few hours in the day. With that being said, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit the red button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Comment below, let me know what deer it was, let me know if I should do the roof, leaves or moss. And what food should I bring along next time I come to the woods? I love asking you that question and I love your replies. I love everyone's suggestions. I've written a lot of stuff down. I've got a lot of ideas planned for different videos, different cook-ups, but I really appreciate your comments when it comes to the food suggestions. Right, I'm gonna finish my tea, pack away, and I wanna go home, come back in a few days' time, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.